does is it allows the oil to drain out rapidly and completely. Alright, so while your bike is warming up, you want to go ahead and grab the two sockets that you'll need. You'll need a 12mm socket, and you'll also need a, what is this? This is actually the wrong size, but it's what size is that? Alright folks, the bike's now warmed up. What you want to do now is you want to go ahead and grab this is the 10mm, yep, 10mm socket wrench, and you want to also grab a 12mm socket wrench. These are the two sockets that you'll need to properly drain your oil. Alright, next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to remove your dipstick by turning it counterclockwise. Just in case you haven't noticed, everything to take it off or loosen it, it's counterclockwise and clockwise to tighten it or put it back on. So go ahead and take that off, place it in a clean location. Next thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and put your oil pan under your bike, under your down tube. That'll be the first place you drain. You drain your down tube first, and then you drain your left crankcase. Or you can do them at the same time if you have a big enough oil pan, but I do them one at a time. Just kind of makes me feel better. So there's my dirty oil container. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and grab your 10mm socket wrench. And if you look on your down tube, and if you don't know what your down tube is, it's front of the bike, kind of right under the front wheel. It's all the way down there. This is a down tube right here. And this is the drain plug that you want to take off first. So you go ahead and let that drain, being sure not to drop the drain plug. Being sure not to drop the drain plug into the oil pan because it would be pretty hot. Alright, so after your down tube drain plug is through draining, usually it'll drip for a while, so what I'll normally do, I'll just grab a shop towel and I just kind of throw it under there and let it drip on that. That way I can move my drip pan or oil pan. My wheels out the way. Alright, next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and drain your left crankcase drain plug, which is, you got the crankcase and there's a pedal, and directly under it is that right there is the left crankcase drain plug. Go ahead and drain that. You'll use a 12mm socket wrench. Alright, and this is what will happen once you take the plug off. You just want to ensure that after it's through draining, you actually take a rag and you clean up all that oil that's spilling on the frame there. Alright, so after it's through draining, you want to go ahead and put your plugs back on there. And you want to also be sure to clean up the oil. Alright guys, alright folks, you've already installed your drain plugs. If maintenance is scheduled for your oil filter, you can go ahead and do that now. Also, if you want to go ahead and check your oil strainer, which is on the right side, you can go ahead and do that also. Alright guys, next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and add your oil. I normally don't use motorcycle oil for my XR. I use Rotella T heavy duty motor oil, 15 weight 40. It's actually diesel oil and it works pretty well. I don't recommend you guys use it. I mean, it's your bike, do what you want to do with it. But I use it. I've used it for over 3,000–4,000 miles and haven't had a single problem yet. And I think it works well. It's good heavy duty oil, and it's made for diesel trucks. I mean, it didn't, you know, Doesn't get any better than that. Alright, for those of you guys that don't know, this is where the oil goes. Alright, the XR holds about 2 quarts of, well, excuse me, after an oil change it'll take about 2 quarts of oil. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and add 1 quart of oil into this spot here, and you want to start the engine, excuse me, you want to put the cap back on, the dipstick back on, start the engine, let it run for about 3 to 4 minutes, just kind of let the oil circulate through the system. And then you want to go ahead and cut the engine off and then add the other quart. The reason you do that is because when you put 1 quart in, the first quart, the oil actually, move my little cord here, the oil sits in a down tube. It sits in a down tube, and when you start the engine up, the oil starts circulating through the engine. So yeah, let it run for about 3 to 4 minutes. Turn it off, put the other quart of oil in there, and make sure you put the dipstick back on, and you should be good to go. That's an oil change for an XR650L.